Yo, what's going on, everybody? All right, so check it out. This one ain't gonna be too long, right? I just wanted to come on and just, I guess, address something, you know? So, you guys know I go live a lot, right? So, yesterday I spent a whole lot of time over there on TikTok. And on TikTok, you know, the lives are different. You got people that I guess they're only on TikTok. So they come into my live and, you know, I'm educating. I'm telling people why I believe the things that I believe and why I'm doing what I'm doing and with the election and all of that. So you get people that come in and instantly want to turn it into a race talk. All right. And I find it to be stupid. It's dumb. And ask me my race. Obviously, I'm an American, you know. But they say, yeah, but you probably ain't even black. I say, yeah, I am. I'm black and I'm white. I got some native back there, you know. And they somehow wanted that to be like a bad thing because I'm part white. They say, oh, that's why you vote the way you are, because you part white. And you did. And they start trying to talk all this stuff about white people. And then you got the white liberals, you know, they say things, and I check them, you know, I'll check them. But they say things about me being black. So I just wanted to say something real quick. Number one, you can't never get an educated person to feel bad about the color of their skin or what race they are. And I'm gonna tell you why. I know the history behind the people that I come from. All right. So I'm part Irish, a lot of Irish. I'm part Scottish. I'm part English, right? People from England. I got native in my blood, 2 different types, and from the continent of Africa. So they say, you know, African American. But looking into the history of those people, and this is for everybody listening right now, right? Whatever race you call yourself, I want you to understand something. I'm proud of the ancestry that I got on both sides. And here's why. I come from a people that are indestructible. The same thing that happened to the Scottish and the Irish happened to the African, right? We were supposed to be conquered, right? The English was, you know, keeping the Scottish and the Irish as slaves. In the same way, Africans was kept as slaves in Africa and outside of Africa, and made long distance journeys. So every person that is a descendant of a slave in this country, right, or a former slave in this country, you come from the strongest of the people. You come from the strongest, the people that made it, that were alive, obviously, because you're alive. All right. The people that are Irish and Scottish, you come from the strongest people that fought for their survival and made it through harsh conditions. If you're English, you got English ancestry, you come from a very strong people, a people that aren't easily conquered. In fact, they do conquer. So you try to get me to be upset, right, about my background of my ancestry. You can't. I come from a people that were either strong from, you know, that made it through slavery, and before that were kings. On both sides. They still got a king of England. You feel me? I got Anglo-Saxon blood inside of me, and I also got African king's blood inside of me. You can't make me upset. See what I'm doing right here? I'm choosing to identify with the positive qualities that come from both sides of my bloodline. You can't make somebody that's educated feel down. You can't. Even through the whole slavery aspect, you can't get me to be upset about, oh, you come from slaves. So what? Look at me now. And this is the greatest part about what I'm about to tell you. I'm an American. I come from two strong bloodlines that ended up right here on this continent, North America. I'm a part of the greatest nation that's ever made an appearance in the world. I'm a part of the strongest nation that is in existence today in this world. You can't make me feel bad, especially because who you think I'm voting for, whatever my beliefs are. You can't make me feel bad about my race. Really? Really? I'm a strong American, and I'm only a strong American because of the great people that came before me that happened to end up right here in this land. I'm grateful that I ended up right here in this land. And guess what? If you're Hispanic and you're an American and you come from the southern part of North America, right? You were a part of a great dynasty and you ended up right here in America. It seems like to me that all the best qualities from all the different places in the world, Germany, Greece, all these different places, Morocco. Some of us are descendants from the Ottoman Empire. We all come from greatness, which is how we ended up right here in America, in the greatest country that you could live in. Take pride in that, because we come from places that built some of the greatest civilizations in the world and ended up being a part of the greatest civilization in the world. Don't let nobody ever try to down you because you're white or you're black or you're brown or you're yellow. If you're Chinese American and your ancestry comes from China, they had one of the most phenomenal dynasties as well. Everybody comes from greatness. You got to choose to look into it, choose to accept those qualities and apply those qualities in your life today to help you become the greatest version of yourself. The greatest part of your ancestry dwells within you. So identify with that. When somebody tries to shame you for something about your color, man, listen, I got some Viking blood in me. They were navigators. They navigated the globe. They were over here in America. Warriors. We come from warriors. Whatever race you are, whatever color you are, you come from some kind of greatness. And you ended up, because of that greatness, you ended up in the greatest country in the world. Born in it. Born in it. All right? So I want y'all to think about that. Think about that. You come from greatness and now you're a part of greatness. But now it's our duty, as we live in this place, to help keep it great. We got to help keep this the greatest. How do we do that? Be great. Be great. Because no matter if you want to, you don't like our government or you don't, I feel you. I understand. But this land that we are in, hey man, you were born in it. You're born in this land. You're a part of this land. You're a reflection of this land. So what are people going to see when they look at you? That's what you got to think. Well, you don't have to, because in America, in this great country, you got freedom. You could do whatever you want. Think whatever you want. Be whatever you want. But I'm telling you, you're a reflection of the land. You see how people look at our government and they think, oh, they're trash over there. You look at our government, you'll be upset and think that they reflect us. They don't reflect us. We reflect the land. All these world governments, the government in China, the government in America, the government in Canada, the government in Mexico, the government in Israel, the government in Gaza, the government, all these different governments, they don't reflect the people. They don't reflect the people. They don't do the will of the people. All right? We got to be the reflection. So when people come on your page, if you're a social media influencer, when people come on and watch you, what do they see? What are they seeing? Are they seeing the greatest part of America? Like, yo, I like that person. That I'm going to follow that person. I'm going to listen to what that person got to say. If you're somebody that's in Canada, are you a reflection of Canada? Because Canada's pretty dope. Your government sucks, but Canada's pretty dope. You know, I even talked to this brother that's in Gambia. Gambia looks beautiful from the stuff that he showed me. And he's a beautiful person. He's got a beautiful soul, always smiling. To me, because of him, man, I like Gambia. I want to go see Gambia. I don't know enough about their government, but because I talked to him, he makes me think like, yo, Gambia might be a pretty dope place. He loves it. It's on the other side of the world, on a whole nother continent. I talked to people in England, made me really want to go to England. Like, I would love to go and see England. Now, if we watch the videos and stuff and you see the crazy things that's going on over there, it'll turn you off. But when you talk to the people, when they're just in their setting and close out the world, and you see the type of person that land has produced, you're like, yo, I want to go over there. This person's dope. Think about that. Mexico. We see all the craziness going on in Mexico. We know about cartels, and that's what we see on the news. But when you talk to people in Mexico, it makes you want to go there. I watch Bizarre Foods, and I see Mexico, and I'm like, yo, I got to go and try this spot. That place is cool. And then all the people were friendly, nice, very welcoming. So we got to make a distinction, you know? So the people that get mad and you see somebody, because of what their religion is or because of who they voting for, that's not a reflection of who I am. All right? We got to get out of that. Get out of that. Stop it. Stop letting people upset you based off of something that is so small. So small. Election only happens every 4 years for a president. Every 4 years. Why is it that every 4 years people become toxic and just don't like each other? Cut it out. All right? Tap into the greatness that is you. Tap into the greatness that you come from. The people that came before you to pave the way for you to be here. Never be ashamed to be black. Never be ashamed to be Hispanic. Never be ashamed to be white. Never be ashamed to be native. Never be ashamed to be Chinese. Never be ashamed to be nothing. Don't be ashamed of that, because there's a lot of great people that came before you to help create you, to make you. All right? Tap into that. Remember that. Be proud of your heritage. There's nothing wrong with being proud of your heritage. You know what I'm saying? If you're a German, people like to identify the whole Hitler thing, right? They like to, and whenever somebody talks about Germany, they think about Hitler. What about the greatness of Germany? Don't be ashamed to be no German. You don't identify with, you know, the past thing that happened with a government, again, that happened with a government. No, identify with the fact that after World War I, your country was the poorest country in Europe. And you quickly rose up through hard work and industry and community and loving each other and lifting each other up to being one of the most wealthy nations in all of Europe. Can we talk about that? Be great. Remember that greatness. If you're an American, you better be proud to be an American. You got to be proud to be an American. All right? We came from coming in, and our forefathers came to this land, didn't know nothing, didn't know how to have agriculture going on over here to survive, learned all of it, and thrived, fought a war to get independence because they was up underneath somebody's thumb, a government, to form their own government with an idea that said something that was never said before. All men are created equal. All men. And everybody got rights given to them by God. And they shouldn't be infringed upon. Everybody. Every single person. Now, you'll make the argument. See, this is why history is important. You'll make the argument and say, yo, but it wasn't free for black people. It was only if you were white. Well, if you go back and you look at it again, it's not exactly entirely true. See, at one point in America, you couldn't vote unless you was a property owner and a free man. You're under the assumption that all white people was free. It wasn't that, but it grew to that. It grew to where, okay, you don't just got to own property. You could be just a free white guy, right? And then it became, okay, well, that's not fair. We need to release the slaves. They should be free too, because of the founding fathers. They had this idea that all men, and they are men, even though some didn't think so. So they fought another war to make that reality. And now everybody's free. The 13th Amendment made all men free. Everybody. That should be celebrated. The ratification of the 13th Amendment should be celebrated because that was the first time in American history where all men became free. And the dream was realized that the founders had. Be proud of that. Be proud of that history. All right. And then we fast forward. Now women can vote. Women got rights. Be proud of that. We jumped through hurdles that other countries hadn't done. Man, we did it in a very short amount of time. Imagine where we're going to be in another 100 years if we keep on the track of that greatness and not fall into degeneracy, not fall into the race debate, the race battle. No. Unity amongst Americans. There's a time, when America was like the compass, the moral compass. We stood up for what was right, all the way to fighting wars in our own country because we stood for what was right. And now we're allowing ourselves to kind of fall, not ourselves, but our government. And then we take part in it by agreeing to some of the things that we know are wrong. Some of these things are wrong. Step away from that and really just take a real look at it, man. Some of the things that our government does is just wrong. And they represent you, so people think this is what y'all must be thinking about here in America. This is what you guys are like now. We're letting this kind of stuff happen. We know that messing with the body, listen. Kids can't go and buy alcohol out of the liquor store. I'm gonna use this analogy because I gotta be careful. It's a touchy subject. But kids can't go buy alcohol from a liquor store, right? You can't go and get something to drink from a liquor store unless you are 21 years old. Because we understand that kids make horrible decisions. The prefrontal lobe, the frontal cortex of the brain doesn't fully develop in a person until they're 25 years old? And we know that through science. So kids can't make those kind of choices. You can't even get a pack of cigarettes unless you're a certain age. You can't drive a car until a certain age. There's just a lot of things that you can't do until you're old enough to make those decisions for yourself. So then why are we allowing these people to tell us it's okay for kids to make decisions about altering their body to a point where they can't come back from? These kind of things. We know that that's not right. So then you gotta ask yourself, what type of people are trying to say that that's okay? Mind you, and keep this in your head, you come from a great people. You come from a great people. All of us as Americans, wherever your background takes you, when you do your ancestry, you come from a great people. I want you to go back and look into them societies and ask yourself, has anything like this ever been done? Where can you look back in history where they have allowed these things to happen involving children? You won't find it. Do we want to go back to a time where you read about people doing sacrifice of humans or, maiming somebody or all in the name of a religion? No, that's archaic. That's archaic. Yeah, we give it a different name and we call it a right. See, because rights is a big thing here in America. It's what wars were fought over, rights. So then you got to ask yourself a question. Should you have the right to do wrong? Should we fight for the right to do wrong? And then what is wrong? I think we need to tap back in. People need to study history about what made Rome great? What made Egypt one of the most fascinating places in the world? What made America one of the most amazing places in the world? And I still believe that we are a great nation. We're the greatest nation on the face of the planet. But if we're not careful and people fall into the race fight, you're this or you're that, or the political stance, or you fall into the religious battles, or you fall into then we can disintegrate. We can disintegrate. Got to get back to square one. It was people of different religions all throughout this country. When they first set up over here, you had Quakers, you had, even though they were like sects of Christianity, the Puritans, you had the natives that had their own spiritual beliefs. You had Catholics. You had 5 synagogues set up in the 13 colonies when they first came over here. You had Muslims that was trading. You know, the King of Morocco helped fund the Revolutionary War for George Washington. People don't know their history. They would never know that. There was a bunch of different people that had ideas for greatness. But you will never know unless you look back. They say if you don't know your history, then you're doomed to repeat it. That would suck to see America fall because people have forgotten the history of the world. Don't just look at American history. Go back before America. Go look at England's history. Go look at Egypt's history. Go back. Look at Mexico's history before it was Mexico. Go back. Look at the Ottoman Empire and their history. Look at the Moors. Look at Rome. Look at all the different histories of all these periods of greatness. And see what was allowed and what wasn't. And then what allowed them to fall. What was it that allowed them to fall? And you'll see that we're right on track to fall if we keep on letting things go the way that they go and paying attention to the wrong things. They got things that they put in front of us for this political stuff, right? They got things that they put in front of us that want us to be upset and arguing about what they deem to be rights. And the rights that are being fought for, they try to make seem good, but are actually evil. It's evil. They want people at each other and divided and against each other as people over a right to do evil. Plain and simple. So yeah, study. Do a little work, man. Do a little studying. And tell me what you come up with. Tell me what you come up with. I love that I'm here in America. I'm so grateful to all the ancestors that came before me, white or black or native, all of them. Thank you. Thank you for making a way for me to be born. Thank you for the mixing. Thank you for all of that. I'm very proud of my heritage. I think I got the best qualities of all of them. I got the best Irish qualities, you know what I'm saying? I got that ability to fight and not stop. I got the endurance. I got the strength from all these different backgrounds, the spirituality from all these different places. You know? Somehow people try to make it seem like, oh, you come from slaves. No, brother. At one point, yeah, people were slaves, all of them. Everybody that is a part of my ancestry at one time or another was a slave. But before that, we had great dynasties. I'm proud of it because here I am in this time, 2024, living in the strongest, most wealthy, most powerful, most productive nation in the world, existing with a platform, talking with people, helping to influence the world. I'm proud of it. I'm proud of it. And I love all my people that come before me. I honor both sides. Y'all gonna see me. St. Patrick's Day? Oh, yeah. Yeah, you see me. I celebrate it. You know what I'm saying? Juneteenth, I celebrate that. 4th of July, I celebrate that. I celebrate it all because it's all a part of my history right here in America. All of it. I like it all. You know? So with that being said, you guys, don't let people tell you who you are. Study and find out who you are, who you come from. Because people like to identify the negative about who you are. Especially when it comes to race. They like to pick out the things that they think will trigger you and make you angry. Don't let it trigger you. Find the beauty in it. That's it. Find the beauty in it and you hold on to that. Find the strength that comes from the history that came before you that helped you to be alive today. All right? You're not a weak person. Every single American in this country, no matter what skin color you are, you come from greatness all around the world. That's what makes America great. We have a bunch of different cultures. We have a bunch of different styles. We have a bunch of different everything. Every single part of the world here in America has contributed to making America, America. And it's beautiful. All right? Be proud to be an American with whatever ancestry you got. That's my message. I hope y'all have a good day. God bless you. I'm about to get ready to be on Cowboy Logic. That's going to be awesome. So you guys be on the lookout for that. I'll let you know when it airs. Got a pre-recording. So it's going to be awesome. I hope y'all have a good day, man. And God bless each and every one of y'all. And then remember this. Here's the last thing I got to say. As a human being, you all, no matter what part of the world you were born in, you come from God. All right. Now, if you tap into that, it'll definitely help you be a part of the greatest type of people. The greatest type of people. Those who love God. Those who try to tap into that won't become divided. Those who tap into that will not support evil. You won't. You tap into that and you won't have a problem identifying wrong. You won't have a problem seeing everybody in this world as your brother or your sister based off of their actions, because you'll know them by their fruit. And then you'll see the real problem. The real problem of why civilizations fall. It's not because of the color of the people. It's not because of the, the culture of the people. It's because of what they practice. You practice evil or you practice good. Be on the lookout. Tap in. You were a kingdom citizen first. Remember that. You were a kingdom citizen first. Y'all have a good day. I'll see you in a little bit.